A, B, C. 1, 2, 3.
Hello. Again, my name is Zonice Jones, and I'm from Pizzazz Incorporated. I'm the co-founder and president of Pizzazz Incorporated, and we've been in existence since 1995. And the reason why my husband Paul and I started Pizzazz was to help ensure that children who were underachieving in school would be given every opportunity to show the teachers how smart they really are. And so we put programs into place, and you know what? We've been proven every day that we are correct, that children are capable of learning. It's just how do we make it possible for them to show the world how smart they really are. And over the last two blogs, as you know, I've been blogging about the impact of education on children progressing from grades 1 through 3 or grades kindergarten to 3rd grade. Now, it's not my goal to beat a dead horse, which is what my daddy say. My daddy used to say, don't beat a dead horse. But I just want to make certain that we fully understand the importance it is to ensure that our children are getting a quality education and that we're putting into place programs that will help to support them securing that education. I hope that you got it. I hope that when you watch those last two blogs that you got it, that you went to your State Department's website, State Department of Education website, that you went to your school district's website, and that you studied the test results, that you looked at the test results for your state, you looked at the test results for your schools. If you didn't, shame on you. It's one thing to talk about how the challenges of educating children. It's another thing to not seek out information to help improve in that particular area. We've learned from the past that our children are paying the price for our negligence because we are not at the helm when it comes to ensuring that they're getting a quality education. Knowledge is one thing again. Doing something is something totally different. What can you do? Okay, what you can do is you can go and attend, I talked a little about parents. Parents, you can read to your child. You can have someone else read to your child. You can take them to the library to read to them to ensure that your child can read by the 3rd grade because that is the pivotal grade for learning. But you, as an adult and as Americans, there's things you can do. You can stay informed. You can attend the school board meetings. You can read about laws and policies that's going to be put into place. It's one thing to read about it, but I mean to really know about it because these laws and regulations are going to impact our children's future and the future of our nation. I want to kind of switch the topic right now. One of the most important things that I think that's been in the educational topic for the last maybe 12 years is education reform. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm from the old school. When the word reform was spoken during my generation, reform was a place where children, bad children, were sent because of their conduct. They call them reformatory schools. So when you talk about education reform, what is it actually that we're talking about? I have a quiz for you. Approximately how many years have Americans tried various approaches to increase children's success in school and improve in schools? Approximately how many years? Think about it. Did you know that it's been 50 years, that over the last 50 years, America has been trying to reform our schools, to educate our children, and to raise the standard of education for our children. 50 years. Now, I did some research. In 50 years, the brain really hasn't changed that much. So learning skills and learning skills and abilities really haven't changed that much. So if a child's brain is basically the same, which means that they have the ability to learn, then why is it that after 50 years we have not found a solution to ensure that every child is given an opportunity to succeed in school and that every child is learning? So what we need to do is to look at the different reforms, and we're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it in some of the other blogs today. But I just want to plant a seed in your mind that if we've been trying to reform the school systems for the last 50 years and we still haven't gotten it right, then maybe we're just not looking in the right places. Maybe we're looking in the wrong places when it comes to ensuring that our children are educated. And I'm going to go back to something pretty simple, something that I I learned when I was in banking many, many years ago. And I'm going to plant this word, and I'm going to give this word to you, and then I want you to go back and do your research. And then I want you to think about it. When it comes to educating children, especially the children that they're saying are failing in school, you're talking about children of color. We're talking about children of a certain ethnicity, children that lives in certain areas. When we talk about educating the children, we have to ask ourselves the question, why is it that we're not succeeding? And what I want to plant in your mind is this little phrase here, the Pygmalion effect. And I want you to do the research on the Pygmalion effect. And the Pygmalion effect, I'm going to read this to you and then I'm going to end this blog. You know, I was asked today, well, what am I going to talk about? And you know what I said? I'm not really sure, but my spirit is telling me to talk about the Pygmalion effect. And the Pygmalion effect refers to the phenomenon in which the greater the expectation placed upon people, often children or students or employees, the better they perform. So if educating children is not rocket science, and we know that every child comes to school with the ability to learn, then maybe it's not the books, the material, the instruction that is hindering our children learning, but maybe it's the Pygmalion effect. It's what we expect of our children. Do we expect that all children are capable of learning when they walk in the classroom? And do we treat them and educate them as though they are? Educating children is not rocket science. Until we make that realization, we will continue 100 years from now. There will be reforms in place, and there will still be a large percentage of children who are not learning. So I want you to think about that. Do your homework. The Pygmalion effect. 50 years of reforming our schools. 50 years of still having students, a large percentage of students failing in school. 50 years of the brain not changing. If the brain is not changing, I think we should change. Thank you, and I'll catch you next time. We're going to talk about reform.